Okay, this is Randy's Sprinklers again, and I have two sprinklers here to talk about. They're kind of uniquely, basically they look similar, but they're very much different. I think this one on the right comes from Australia, and the one on the left here is a Chinese brand, or no brand, because they don't put a name on these things. Even this one from Australia doesn't actually have really any writing. There's kind of a, I know it's kind of hard to see, but there's kind of a little symbol in there. And there's nothing on this side at all. But this one doesn't have anything written on it. One of the things that the stops are, this is pretty common. These have like this dentin feeling. So sometimes when you're trying to get the setting just right and you move it just one notch, it's too far. Or you move it one notch back the other way and it's too far. So this is really hard to set, which I don't like. This is kind of the same, but you look at the stops on this, and these are like the stops that Gilmore and Nelson use, or have used. And so I think it's kind of interesting. They also have this dentin positioning. And it's kind of frustrating when you're trying to get it like set just so. But they do work. They do work. One of the things that's interesting is the arm is a little different than most of the arms that we see that kind of look like this, which is a design that comes off of the Rainbird P5 gosh, what is, oh, not the P5R, but the P5PJ. That's what it is. So the original Rainbird plastic arm had this design, and one of the things that I find unusual is this. There's right, it's kind of hard to see, right in this spot, this is indented a little bit, and so something I haven't quite figured out yet, if I were to cover this up, would it keep the water from squirting out to the side? The side splash. See, this one doesn't have that problem. When you look at the edge, this comes straight down. It doesn't indent inward. And the side splash comes like up into the arm here. So I don't really need to cover more of this up. But on these, I don't know why it's designed like this. So something I haven't quite figured out. Something that's unique about this one is it has a removable nozzle. Don't know what you're going to replace it with if you take it off, but if for some reason you gotta something happens to it, you can take it off and put another one on. Something that's interesting about these things, though, and I discovered this years ago, is when I used to take the nozzles out of the sprinklers years ago, you could actually run the sprinkler with it like this. Maybe not as well, but you could get the water. I mean, it would water the area pretty quickly. So anyway, you wouldn't get the distance. but it was always interesting to see that it would work that way. Excuse me. Both of these have a spring down here for what they would call the bearing. You can see the spring there and the spring on this one as well. And then this one has a removable a bearing sleeve, not a bearing sleeve nipple. This would be called the bearing sleeve nipple. This one has the ability to be removed as well, but this is done with like a hex wrench from the inside, as opposed to this has the slot, which is pretty common, or let's say more common. At least they're both removable. I have not tested this one out yet, and I guess we'll find out what it's like. The other thing that's interesting about this design is it's more of a little bit of the older fashioned design, where you can see the holes here. The spring goes through the holes, where on a lot of the newer Chinese models, they have kind of like a little bit of an edge around the edge on all points of the spring. And instead of you having to like thread the spring, you kind of just wrap it around. So basically, it would be easy to undo the spring off of this completely, without having to unthread it, which is kind of something different. Kind of actually a handy feature. This has a hole right in that spot right there that's not being used. And if I'm not mistaken, okay, I thought I was seeing a hole up there, but no hole. Okay. There is this hole inside, just on the inside of this one, and why that's there, I don't know. But maybe that gives some different positioning. I've already seen this in operation, but I will add that as part of our video. And I need to go and try this one out, and we'll see what this one's like. So let's get to the testing. See how well this works. Okay, be back in a minute. This is a sprinkler from Australia, to the best of my knowledge. It's kind of expensive. I'm pretty impressed. Yeah, I like it. This one works very, very nicely. I only have one of these. Wow. I like the sound and the movement, but unfortunately, you have the side splash over here. That's probably like a 60 degrees to the right, which is really way, way more than it should be. As you can see, the water going to the right. Let me move this down a little bit. But you can see the water going to the right, which it's not supposed to do. I really do like the timing on that though. I just wish the water, that's the nice thing about the other sprinkler. The water goes out towards the front and it doesn't have any of the side splash going off into the road on this one here. Wow. Let me take this over here. So you can see, I mean, it may be a PJ designed arm, but it doesn't do PJ type stuff. Wow. Is that recording? I don't know. Alright, well, get to see what it looks like. Okay, well, with that, we will stop.